It's time to go in depth on this Friday. The countdown to Super Bowl Sunday is officially on. And while you're stocking up on chips and wings and soda and on such for the big game, the Green Bay Packers and Pittsburgh Steelers are getting ready to lay it all on the line. Advertisers worldwide have paid up and are hoping to hit pay dirt. That's right, we're talking about Super Bowl commercials. Many of you may tune into the game just for the ads. Companies shell out millions just for a 30-second spot during the big game. Question is it really worth it? And which commercials will you remember years from now? I talked to two young advertising professionals about the big game of advertising. And joining me right now, Stephanie Ney and Tamara Whittaker from Ad to Tampa Bay. What is Ad to Tampa Bay first?
We're a young professional organization for the advertising industry. Young
professionals. I need you to throw the word young in there, wouldn't you? Super Bowl time. Greatest time for ads on TV, but why does everybody pay attention to the ads so much during Super Bowl?
Well, first of all, they cost so much money, so you have to know they need to be good.
Right.
Because if you're going to spend $3 million on something, it better be at least funny, you know, dramatic, something that you'll remember, whether you remember the product or the actual commercial itself. So.
Right, and I guess a guaranteed audience. I mean, that's part of it too,
everyone's watching it live. You don't record it. You're watching the commercials.
But we do remember them, don't we? And just to prove how much we remember them, we're going to run a little snippet of about 1 minute and 30 seconds of some of the all-time favorite Super Bowl commercials. Let's watch them, and you can remember them with us.
On January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh. And you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1984.
Want my Coke? It's okay, you can have it.
No.
Really, you can have it.
Okay.
Very nice work, Brother Dominic. Thank you. Very nice. Now, I would like 500 more sets.
You see the movies, you hear the stories. I'm living a dream. Not everyone can do what we do.
I wouldn't do nothing else.
It ain't an easy job, but when you bring a herd into town and you ain't lost a one of them, ain't a feeling like it in the world.
I've seen that ad 100 times, and it chokes me up every time I see it. This mix that these advertisers are able to do between absolutely hilarious cat herding and yet something so memorable that Budweiser, I don't know if they sold any beer as a result of that, but boy, you sure remember their brand name, don't you?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it brings a tear to your eye every time.
Yeah, so if you're designing an ad, what kind of reaction do you want to get from people when you're putting an ad like this together?
You want them to remember the brand. So when you're in the store, that they're going to have that relation. It might not remember the commercial itself.
Yeah.
But they'll have a nice relationship and good thoughts about it.
Now, Budweiser, because they spend so much money, ribbit, what's up, what's up, I mean, all that kind of stuff. Those tend to be remembered more because sometimes they can start almost like cult fads. Like I'm thinking of the E-Trade babies. Oh my gosh, you like those?
Those are hilarious. I think when you use something that has nothing to do with the product, like animals, beer, or babies and stocks, I think that's really what helps us remember because it was memorable and it was funny. Or like you said, you know, tearjerker. So.
Which do they prefer? Mostly, straight ads I just don't think make it on the Super Bowl. Does anybody do a straight ad on the Super Bowl?
Not that I'm aware.
No. And there's almost like a competition between the advertising agencies that get to do these, right?
Oh yeah, it's like who had the best one.
Now, how long do they take to make an ad like this? Like the Super Bowl ads we're going to see in 2011, which, by the way, you can go to websites and see them right now before the big game. How long have they been in production?
From start to finish, it could be a half day, a full day, to several weeks in concept.
But I mean, they've been thinking about these though a long time, don't they? To do a lot of long-range planning.
Oh yeah, right after they ended their first commercial last year, they started on a new concept.
And do they go through, like television news does and a lot of programs and movies do they go through focus groups to see, is this ad going to have the impact that I want?
Some of them do. It's like Doritos, they had a contest on who was going to make it on air, so they are definitely looking to shock everybody with the commercial in the best way they can, so they're looking for all ways to do that.
But do you think it's really worth $3 million? I mean, personally, do you think it's
I
worth it?
personally wouldn't spend $3 million on a commercial, but I mean, for some of these brands that they want to sell their products, they want to be known forever, they have something that we consume on a daily basis, whether they want to switch someone over, it's important. If this is the one time of the year where everyone is guaranteed to watch a commercial, because nowadays with DVR, we fast forward through it. But now I won't have my DVR on because I'm going to watch the commercials. Yeah, I'll probably rewind and go back, but I think their $3 million is worth it when you have that many people watching.
Now, the controversy, I mean, some of these are very controversial. We go back to that Apple commercial. Remember when they had the lemmings that were walking off the cliff?
Oh,
I mean, they actually had to change that because they thought people were going to start committing suicide, right? I mean, it can happen.
Yeah.
People take this stuff very, very seriously.
There was the one with Tim Tebow last year. That was pretty controversial.
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So what are we expecting this year? Can you get cats out of the bag? Which ones do you think would be the best? I know you've seen some of them. Have you seen all of them or not?
I've only seen a few. I hope for some more funny E-Trade babies and the V-Dub bug.
Yeah, yeah. and again, this is product placement, and for a lot of these companies, they're just trying to remind you that they're out there, but most people have already kind of made their choices on the products they're going to use anyway, right?
They sure have. I mean, you're already drinking the beer while you're watching a beer commercial, but
yeah, great.
It's still impactful.
Okay, and now I'm going to do the politically incorrect things to do. Who's going to win? Steelers, Packers?
Packers.
Go Pats.
We've got to go for our conference. We're Bucs fans.
I'm going for the Midwest.
Okay, Midwest. I'm for the Midwest too. So if they don't win, either way, if your team doesn't win, you'll love the commercials.
Definitely.
Ladies, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now, the Super Bowl is the big game for companies and advertisers, but now more than ever, it's the big game for social media as well. In fact, now the Social Bowl might be a good name for that big game. Bena's Ryan Roy Tajedus in our web center with more on this. All right, fill me in, sir.
Well, you said it, Al. More prominent this year for the Super Bowl ads is the presence of social media. I mean, just about every big company is linking their advertising campaign for the big game to its social media resources. Folks in the advertising industry are even calling this game the Social Bowl. And here's what I'm talking about. Here are a few examples. Usually big on advertising during the game is Budweiser. This year it's focusing on a 2-week campaign leading up to the Super Bowl using its Facebook page. Here they have the Bud Light Unlock the Spot Challenge. So they've been asking people to like the page, as I do right now, and then they'll give you still images of an ad, and if you guess the plot, you'll unlock a special online-only 90-second commercial. And here's another one from Volkswagen. This is a really good one that is already gone viral. It's we've linked to it on baynews9.com so you can see it along with the more than 5 million people who've already made this video viral. Volkswagen posted the ad yesterday on the web. It'll run during the game on Sunday, but it's already received 5 million hits in 24 hours. And then there's Angry Birds. It's only the most downloaded mobile video game out right now. Well, listen to this. Angry Birds will be featured in a 30-second spot on Super Bowl Sunday. According to Advertising Age, it'll air in the fourth quarter and have some kind of encoded message directing you to a hidden level in the game. Users who complete the secret Angry Birds challenge will then be entered in a sweepstakes to go see the premiere of a movie of the same game in Brazil. It'll also be it'll also be available on the Super Bowl on YouTube. There are other commercials that will air during the game directing people to tweet messages. I guess it's to make the big game a little more social than it already is.
Aren't we supposed to watch the game in between there? This is all going on. And what's the big chatter this week about the commercials that'll probably cause the most buzz during the games?
2 brands under one roof right now. Pepsi and Doritos have dominated all the buzz leading up to the Super Bowl, according to a recent survey by Alterian, a marketing technology research firm. And it's because of their campaign called Crash the Bash Party, which fans create their own ads for those products that'll air during the game. So from the Web Center, I'm baynews9.com's Roy DeJesus.
No doubt, no matter who wins the game, you'll be talking about some of those commercials come Monday morning. Super Bowl commercials can be everything from funny to fascinating to racy to controversial and even, as you saw, tear-jerking. And what you see this coming Sunday may surprise you. That does it for this Friday's edition of In Depth, where every weekday we take a close-up look at important issues and hot topics that we're all talking about.